Hello and welcome to this special. I'm Shibani Gharat. Noise, which is one of the top wearable brands in India, was established back in 2014. The company was co-founded by two brothers, Gaurav Khatri and Amit Khatri. They started off by selling smartphone covers and cases to then move to wearables such as truly wireless earbuds, smartwatches, and then more recently launched Luna Ring and more. The aim was to create affordable, high-quality wearable technology accessible to a broader audience. They identified a gap in the market for feature-rich wearables that didn't break the bank, and consistently banking on its strategy of innovation at aspirational prices, the brand has completed 10 years now. To speak with us more about the 10-year-old journey, today we are joined in by Gaurav Khatri, one of the co-founders of Noise. Gaurav, welcome to CNBC-TV18.
Thank you so much.
And congratulations on 10 years of Noise.
Yeah, thank you.
Tell us more about the highlights of the 10-year-old journey of the company.
It has been a beautiful journey when you see growth more than 100% year on year, when you have seen the achievement of being the third highest smart wearable brand in the world. So a lot of that kind of a good feather that have come to us. So very humble and kind to the Almighty about it. You
and both Amit were doing completely different things before starting off Noise. You know, you are a commercial pilot yourself. How did you decide, okay, this is the space that I want to be in?
So honestly, I think the reason for, loving the tech was also being a pilot. You are always surrounded by the big machines and there's a new tech innovation that is happening there. And in the cockpit also, you see a lot of tech available there. So there is a reason or probably an attachment came from that. And I think I just did not thrive in my pilot career in initial days. So probably I had no other way to build my career on. It was just that e-commerce was booming up and things were showing a positive response in India, and new India was coming up. The generation was very different how probably our parents or my elder ones have used to buy the products, right? So the idea was to now figure out the tech which has not yet come in, not in India, but worldwide also. It has not been so big, which we feel that there is a potential that can become big in coming time. So probably fitness was something that was close to, let's say gadget was close to me, fitness was close to Amit, and fortunately we were just scrolling around with different gadgets every probably 3 months, 6 months. We were buying, trying, and then that's the reason probably we got hooked to wearable as a space, earbuds as a space. But yeah, wearable did well for us, so we just continued there.
Yeah, and what were some of the initial challenges that you faced?
The most common challenge when you don't come from a background of a tech is probably hiring the right talent,
to work for you, yeah.
Not only hiring right people to work for you, but also getting the right partners who work for you, right? You need, when you work in the technology space, you need the right set of partner who works and create the product, who are ready to work on a smaller scale, that someone who believes into you. So people who believes into you, getting them motivated and getting them convinced is the biggest challenge, I would say, that was there for us. Beyond that, I think everything is more of an operational challenge. Okay, there's a capital becomes sometimes a challenge, and there is a learning that becomes challenge because the category and the channel that we were selling on, wearable as a category, was not mature, and then channel e-commerce as a channels were not doing that great in 2013-14, and when we were trying to come in. So at least there was a good part that these were a new channel for us. Everybody was learning in the phase, so we had a time to learn, and I think that probably helped us. We could do better there, and probably first mover advantage helped for sure. Yeah, that's the journey about.
And then how did you go about building the brand Noise over so many years?
We were always trying to create products with the consumer, building on the feedback. For an example, a person like you who has been running, right? You need an earbud which does not fall while you run.
Yeah.
So you need to create that kind of innovation in the product that does not fall. So we bought India's first ear-hooked earplugs which did not fall. We created a lot of India's first. We got India's first truly wireless. We got first smartwatch with a colored display that was never available in India. So a lot of those innovation first arrived here, and then we probably created more of it. So I think that helped. Brand building took some time. The more consumer that you reach, probably word of mouth was probably one of the easiest way for us, because we did not come from a lot of money background, right? We did not have enough funds for brand spend. So So probably only the motivation for us was to keep the consumer happy, and they will be the one who will be your brand champions. So they promoted us, and I think wherever we are because of them.
Yeah, from word of mouth, then roping in the likes of Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Rishabh Pant, Tapsi Pannu, all of them have been
also
your ambassador. How did that help to get to newer markets and newer audience?
So it always helps, because as a fresh brand, consumers seek some trust, right? So far, at least our country has always been into an era where only international brands or the global giants were taking care of it, or the Chinese mobility brands were known for it. For us to make a dent, you need to have some trust value coming from the celeb. So that helps. Till a certain point, it helps. So we started with Rohit, and then we moved to Rishabh, and then Virat Kohli. And of course, it has given significant improvement in the trust of the brand.
Yeah, and from first movers advantage to operating in this very competitive wearable space, how do you continue to innovate, and how do you, like, what is it that you do to stay ahead of, the market?
Consumer centricity, where you are speaking to the consumer on daily basis. Second is that in the entire journey of 10 years, we have been able to build India's probably only brand which has its own innovation lab, where
which
we
is
are
Noise
trying,
Labs.
which is Noise Labs, where we are trying to create everything from the scratch, whether it is design, whether it is R&D, whether it is PCB designing and everything. So a lot of the products that we are doing now is completely been designed in-house. So one, that when you are closer to the technology and you're building by yourself, it helps you to create it better and faster, and it keeps you ahead from anybody else who is just picking up the product from the market and just selling it, right?
Yeah.
What also happens when you are creating the technology, you're working with a lot of partners globally. Those partners are the part of the ecosystem who are creating the technology in parallel with you. So you get a direct access to them, right? Now Bose is a strategic investor in us. So there's a lot of technology transfer that is happening with them. Who knows audio category better than them, who has been pioneered for like 60, 70 years now.
Yeah.
Right, such an aspirational brand.
Yeah, and how do you keep the prices so competitive? I remember I had tried the smart eyewear, and it was, I feel, 1/5 the price of what was, what Bose had launched around that time. So how do you keep those prices so competitive, whether it is, your smart eyewear or truly wireless earbuds, or even your smart watches?
What we try to focus on is, let's try to create a product which can probably sell 1 million unit or 500,000 unit, right? And then you do the backward working, what should be the right price for an Indian consumer, what is the price point of a global consumer and everything. Then there's a lot of science behind it. Probably it's a secret sauce for us that has worked well for us. So not something that I'll be able to comment more.
Yeah, so from competitive pricing to the price that shocked us from Noise, it was the Luna ring. Priced at 19,000 rupees, more expensive than your smartwatches or any other wearables that you've launched so far. Why are rings so high priced? And, tell us more about launching Luna ring. Why did you get into the space of a smart ring?
Honestly, it is expensive for one reason, because it has not been at a scale at this point of time for anybody in the world. Everybody's just where the mobile phones or the smartwatches have reached like 10 to 12 crores of units, in fact, just in India, right, in 2 years' time. These rings are very, very small at this point of time. Probably the price will take time. Second, I think it is still in an early stage where you are just trying to get the best health metrics through this. And it's a niche audience. It's not for everyone, and hence probably requires a specific use case for somebody to use it, whether it is sleep, whether it is activity, whether it is heart rate. So people need to be very, very aware about the tech before they think about it. But yeah, I think there will be time, probably it may also come down.
Do you think it has a market going forward?
Absolutely. The world is becoming healthier, the world is becoming aware, and we probably need much less distraction from a heavy device. It solves a lot of things. One, it is not a visible device in terms of that it doesn't look like there's something that you have worn, right? I think it will become big.
And when you go about launching a new category altogether, what is the strategy there? How do you, ensure that your product will stand out as compared to the others available in the market?
See, one, we have not intervened into multiple categories at this point of time. We have always been surrounded. Our statement is, to be surrounded by a lifestyle tech gadget. which could be a hearable, which could be a wearable. So we are currently at this point of time, this is extension of a wearable smartwatch. There will be a lot of more devices that may come up into wearable space, different form and factor that will keep coming. So we will be primarily sitting in that space, whichever is becoming part of the general life and has a tech involved into it. And the tech which is not just old, it's not like that wired headphones kind of a category where there's no innovation that has happened like in last probably a decade, right? So we want to do something which is much more forward in tech and want to take risk in those areas rather than doing something which has already been done by someone else.
Going forward, Gaurav, what are some of the products and innovations that we expect from Noise that you are most excited about?
I've already given you a hint. There's a lot that is happening with the global giant Bose. You will see soon. But yeah, a lot on AI, a lot on health. But yeah, form and factors will still remain the same. But yeah, it's just that.
And what is your and Amit's ambition with Noise going forward?
So when we started, we used to just think about India as a market. Now we are just trying to figure out a way that how to make it India's first brand to go global and make a bigger name there.
An $X-billion brand, do you have a figure for that?
I really don't want to think about any dollars, billions. I just want a quality brand which get loved and which get accepted by everyone and people owns it with pride.
You know, when I spoke to Kalpe, who is, who has been one of the co-founders of OnePlus and then launched Nothing. So I asked him, what does it take in today's day and age to launch a tech brand? So he said naivety. What would be your answer to that question?
I would say exactly same, because I think for us also that has worked well. Being naive sometimes helps you to innovate or do things differently than how the older brands are doing, right? So you need to be agile, you need to be naive, you need to be available to learn and accept. You can't say that I've created this and this is what will work. You have to surround the consumer every time. You can't just say that one product will work for life. That's the beauty of technology. So you have to keep innovating and keep working hard.
It is time for a short break. You don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Audi India has had a good last year. The automaker retailed 7,027 units in FY 23-24 and grew by 33%. And not just new cars, but their pre-owned luxury car business also grew by 50%. In an interview with us, Balbir Singh Dhillon, head Audi India, says that their customers are getting younger and the market for luxury auto is only expanding. Although taxation can be challenging, but consumer desire to own luxury has only increased over the past few years. He spoke about many things, including luxury EV cars market and the company trying to bring their recently unveiled Audi Q6 e-tron to India as fast as possible. How is overall the luxury car market faring in the country? What is the change that you've seen over the past couple of years?
Couple of years back, 5, 7, 10 years back, there were limited segment of people who used to buy luxury cars. Let's say ultra high net worth individuals, business owners, etc. But now you also see a lot of CXOs, you have professionals buying these cars, youngsters, in their 40s, 30s buying luxury cars. So, that demographic, especially post-pandemic, has changed and people are really getting into luxury much earlier in their lives than it was before, whether it is through new cars or also through pre-owned cars business. So we have both the verticals running parallel. So we try to bring in a lot of customers who are not willing to buy a new car yet, but they want to try luxury. So, the exposure to luxury, the exposure to buy something which is expensive and you want to be looking unique and want to, let's say, not just, one thing which also has changed initially a couple of years back, let's say people used to throw luxury in the sense I buy luxury goods, so I want to throw my attitude here and there, I want to be seen in a luxury car.
Yeah.
But now I think that's also changing. People are satisfying themselves. They're feeling happy about what they're owning, not to show to anybody, but just own it and just, feel
for
arrived
themselves.
in life.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
So these are some of the things which are changing. 10%, 11% of our customers are women today, which is also growing over a period of time. So the age is becoming younger and younger. Let's say, if I give you just one data point, almost 42% of our cars we sell are to the people who are under 40. So you can imagine, this
wow.
is the kind of change that is happening in India and
Sure.
with our population, which is young.
What is driving this change? Because we are paying more taxes than ever.
Well, taxes I'll come later. But let me give you the positive side.
Yeah.
Post-pandemic, we had this YOLO culture. You only live once.
Yeah.
So everybody wants to live, not just save, but also spend. So that is something that is changing. So from saving to spending. People are so well traveled. The billions of dollars Indians are spending traveling abroad. So when they travel abroad, they see all these premium luxury cars, and then they want to come back and also want to own many of them. So this is something. So exposure to luxury, global travel, consumption of luxury as general, not just cars, but in general, it's growing. So I think the culture of spending, as we are becoming younger and younger, tax of course is one of the, let's say, one of the challenges for the luxury segment, because we are one of the highest taxed industry. Just to give an example, almost 50% is the GST that our customers pay, GST and cess put together. So this is something which still holds the industry to be very, very low as compared to, let's say, other markets around India, Southeast Asia, etc.
Yeah, and keeping all of these insights in mind, how are you shaping your brand strategy? How has brand Audi evolved over the past couple of years?
Well, for us, I think the core of everything that we do is our customers. So our evolution of the brand is one on the sporty side, where we try and offer to our customers sporty cars. On the other side, we try to offer our customers different body types. To give an example, for the first time, we tried a Sportback in our e-tron, which eventually became 1/3 of the seller. And then with that success, we also launched for the first time in a Q3 also a Sportback. Now 1/3 of our sale in the Q3 segment is from our Sportback, so we are offering different body types. We were also one of the first one to bring in the electric luxury cars. Not only did we do that, but we also brought in a sports car, which is e-tron GT RS. So wide range of products that we are offering. At the same time, always we focus on our existing customers. That's the strength that we have. To give you an example, every 4th car that we sell in India is being sold to our existing customer. That's the kind of brand loyalty. So we continue to invest in our existing customers. In the first 6 months of this year, we did over 350 physical events across the country, where we are touching base with our existing customer, prospective buyers. So we take them to drive our cars. The cars have so much fun to drive, and they have so much of capability, which are normally not seen when you go from A to B in an office in the morning. So we try to bring these customers to the real cars, what the cars can do. And so many times they are so happy and zapped. Even this is possible, of course. That's what our strength has been.
And speaking of that, Audi Q6 e-tron, when is it coming to India market? A lot of anticipation around it.
So we are working on it. We already announced we will be launching this car some point in time towards end of this year or early next year. That's the timeline that we are looking at. We are working with our headquarters hard, because this car has been, let's say, unveiled but not yet launched. But it will come by.
What is your strategy when it comes to EVs for the country?
Well, for us, it's widespread. Not just certain professionals are buying these cars, but anybody and everybody, because we are a young population, well-educated population. So not only one decides, but their family member, the kids also play a role. And when we talk about green energy, when we talk about green cars, and, these are the influences that come by the family. So it is not specific to certain segments, but I think the demand has been across the country, and not just the bigger city, but also smaller cities. As Chandigarh, for an example, even east of India or south of India, you go anywhere. The cars, the premium electric cars are sold across the country without any borders. So that's how the adoption has been. And of course, I must also in the same breath say that, in the luxury space, the penetration of EVs is about 6% right now. And for us is about 3%. Primarily because we only cater to certain segment of cars. So all the cars that we sell in India, EVs, are mostly above 1.2 crores. So we are addressing a limited segment. But as we go into the newer segment, I think the adoption will also widen.
But as adoption widens, how are you, taking care of some of the challenges when it comes to transition from ICE to EV?
I think in general, as an industry, it's not specific to only Audi. All of us trying to contribute to improving the charging infrastructure. But of course, if the fact remains, we will not become ourselves charging infrastructure companies. So our role is to help. To give an example, we have over 140 chargers installed across the country, not only at Audi dealership, but also our group brand dealerships. We've installed one of the strongest, the largest EV charging station in BKC with 450 kilowatt hours, where there are multiple guns. So there is massive number of cars that are getting charged on a day-to-day basis. We were one of the first ones to also come out with the My Audi application that had a section only for electric car customers, and this we opened to in the beginning to everybody, where we have today at least 1,000 plus chargers, which are high-speed chargers. As the cars are becoming, let's say, more and more evolved, so if you have 500, 600 kilometers of a range within city anyway, there's not a problem.
Yeah.
The problem is always if you travel intercity.
One city to another.
Which is now happening with cars becoming 500, 600 kilometers
yeah.
range. So I think that is coming from the car side. Last but not the least, sometimes also customers do feel the resale value of the car. They see the battery life, how long is the battery life. So, this is something which always remains, let's say, a question in our customers' mind, which we try to solve by communication. How best we can give them a confidence of the resale values of the cars and the age the battery can live.
Overall, in your tenure, if you can also give us like an overview on how the perception of brand Audi in the country has changed, has evolved, and global, how does global look at Audi's presence in India today?
So, I mean, one of the very first employees of this company, so I've been working in this organization for quite long. I think there used to be a time when we used to sell a couple of cars in a month. And from that time, I've now seen a time where we sell 1,000 cars in a month. So, this is the evolution of Audi. So not only we have spread vertical, but also horizontal.
Yeah.
We were present in a couple of cities in the beginning. We evolved, and now we have 29 new car showroom and 27 pre-owned car showroom, and then 41 workshops. So the spread has been really, really wide. Like I mentioned already, there was this only limited segment of people used to buy luxury cars, including Audi, which is also spreading. So new segments getting attached, younger buyers, and sometimes in a couple of our months, our pre-owned car sales is competing with the new car sales. So that's the kind of spread that we have. So we try to bring more and more customers through our pre-owned cars program. We give them an Audi experience that eventually in 2 to 3 years time, when they decide to buy a new car, they also buy an Audi again. So our idea is that our customers should have a peace of mind, whatever it is, new cars, pre-owned cars, servicing. So we try to keep the cost of ownership as low as possible. The quality of our products, our customers vouch by the quality of our products. So that is something which is, it's always a word of mouth. Whenever you're buying a luxury space, especially in India, you will always ask your friends, family, what are you owning? What will you buy? So it makes a lot of difference that our existing customers, so we keep investing into our existing customers so that the word of mouth spreads. So that is how we try to build. And of course, I'm not even talking about products. That's our job from global, whatever is available globally, because our customers are so well traveled. They know what all cars do we have. So what we need to make sure is that when we bring any car, we need to serve that car for next 10, 15 years. So we need to bring those cars which we can sell enough. So that is something which we always keep on looking, and we try to bring as many models as possible, whether it is sedans, SUVs, special body types, sports cars, RS model, S models, or electric cars. So as
across segments, across categories.
Absolutely, as far as possible, but clear focus on existing customers.
Well, all the best for that. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
With that, it's a wrap on Storyboard this week. You can catch all of our content on Facebook, X and YouTube. Thanks for watching. We will be back same time next week. See you soon.